What's going on, guys? I know unusual setup, but I'm in the process of decluttering my house so I can list it and eventually sell it. So that is why things are set up a little bit awkwardly. I know before I've had complaints about echoes and things of that nature. So if you don't like it, sorry, but I wanted to put out a video because one of my buddies asked me a good question and I thought it was worth the time to put the video out. He asked me what were my top 5 traditional knives that I carry. So here you can see the 5 knives that I have laid out. But first, I always like to talk about what I've been carrying, and that would be this, which is the Spyderco Endura in, let's see if we can get that to focus, in K390. And this knife has just, not necessarily the Endura. There's nothing wrong with this model. It's just not my preferred thing. Backlock is not my preferred thing. This would not be the first knife model I went for, but this K390, it has just held in there like a champ. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of damage. It stays sharp for a very long time. It responds very well to a strop. It comes off of the stones very clean and crisp, with a very clean, crisp apex. Everything that you would want from a nice non-stainless steel. So that's what I've been carrying, but you guys didn't come here for that. Let's jump back into the traditional knives. So I do have them laid out from left to right as what would be my most carried to my least carried in my top 5. And I'll kind of run you through what I have here and kind of why. So this right here is just your typical, sorry guys, I had to reposition. This is just your typical 77 Barlow. And I mean, it's just, it's hard to even explain. It just has that, good walk and talk that, we used to know and love from GECs. And I'm not trying to beat up on GEC right now, but we all know things haven't quite been the same. I think this came out in 2016. Yeah, 2016. So, and if you don't know, you can tell what year a knife was made by those last 2 digits on the tang. So 16 means this came out in 2016. This was a special factory order for Mike at Collector Knives. He did the 77 Barlows, but as you all know, GEC is not doing any more SFOs, at least as far as I know. But this knife here, it's slim. It's stout enough because if you don't know, the Barlow pattern was supposed to be a working man's knife, and that's why it has this extended bolster here to give you some more lateral strength if you need to twist or torque on the knife blade itself. Yeah, there's really nothing that this knife can't do. And with this clip point blade, you have some belly there for those types of tasks that you would need belly for. But with the clip, you have a point where you can pierce things very easily and also use it kind of like you would maybe a Warren clip or some blade of that nature. So next up is going to be my 68. And this is just a knife you don't see every day. It's kind of reminiscent of a slim down Boy Scout knife. That's really one of the things that kind of caught my eye. Again, it has this clip point blade. There is no half stop on this. I don't remember what year this came out. Let's see if it's on the back of this blade or the other blade. This came out in 2011. So we're looking at some fairly old knives here. This is one of them with the bail that is pinned onto the bolster. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a great knife. It's very slim. It's lighter weight. If you did want to tie some type of lanyard or something onto it to hold it, you could. The fit and finish is good. The color of the bone, if I can get it to focus, guys. Sorry, like I said, bear with me with this setup. The coloring of the bone, the jigging, it's just a beautiful knife, and it offers you this secondary blade if you need a secondary blade for, you know, letter opening or something of that nature that you don't want to use your main blade for, or if you've used your main blade and your main blade has become dull. So this is just a great all-around user for the office. This here is the 44, and this time when they ran it specifically with the brass bolsters, brass end cap and bolster, and the brass bullet shield here. And this was the beginning of them running those large runs that were supposed to be like, you know, thousands of knives, so that way they could kind of get over the supply shortage a little bit. They just did an outstanding job with this knife. I mean, again, that jigging, the color of the bone. I mean, look at the spring fitment to the liners and the bone covers, and the end cap and the bolster. I mean, this is just the pull of this knife. Again, it's got that snappiness like the 77 had. There's a half stop on both blades. I mean, this is just, I don't know. This is just a well executed traditional knife with the two blades. And if you notice, look how long this secondary blade is. I mean, this secondary blade could almost be a primary blade. Look at the blade length of the secondary here with the primary of this 68. I mean, it's almost the same size. So it's just a great, just all around user that's very well executed. Here, everybody, if you've watched my channel from back in the days, you already know the 38 split back whittler. If you don't know what a split back whittler is, you can see here there are two springs that merge down to one. And there's a tiny wedge in between these two springs that narrows down to cause that merger. The one spring operates the main blade, or the two springs coming together as one operate the main blade. Again, there is no half stop, but man, this is just a nice blade, nice knife. Again, that clip point, in my opinion, is a very nice, versatile blade. Then you have two secondary blades. If we can get it to focus, there we go. You have this here. You have your coping blade. And again, this is a whittler, so, you know, coping blade would obviously make sense. And then you have a pin blade, which again, obviously would make sense. And the fit and finish of this knife is just, man, look at how far this blade comes back between those two tangs, and it does not touch. I mean, this is just... It's been called a statement knife before by GEC, and I truly believe that. I did pick up one of the split back whittlers that came out not too long ago. I was supposed to do a video on that. I just have been busy, guys. My apologies. That also is just so well executed. I don't know why GEC doesn't do more split back whittlers. Besides, I know they're very difficult to execute, but their execution is so high, it is not even funny. They're just well assembled knives that are very functional. And last but not least is this. Here we go. This is a quote unquote Soda Scout. This also is built on the 77 frame. I'm sorry, 15 frame. So you can see it's a little bit shorter than the 77 here. So it's that classic 15 size. It has this, when this knife came out, if you don't know the story, this was supposed to be linen micarta. And as you can see, there's no grain or texture to this. So a lot of people were very upset about that, including myself. And I actually sold the first one of these that I had and ended up luckily being able to pick another one up before these just kind of disappeared. And come to find out, I can't remember exactly where this micarta came from, but God, Logan, I can't remember his channel name. God, I can't remember, but he goes to all of the GEC rendezvous and things of that nature. He does a lot of research on traditional knives, specifically GECs. But this micarta, I don't want to say it's Westinghouse, but it's something as special as a Westinghouse type micarta. So I'm glad I ended up picking up another one of these. This micarta it's aged beautifully in my opinion. And this is just a great summertime knife. You can pinch it open. You have that great sheep foot blade. And when were these done? These were done in 2015. So again, like I said, we're talking about older knives, half stop. And then you have the your crown lifter or bottle opener along with your flathead screwdriver. So this is just a nice, useful knife. Great for the summertime if you want to open some packages, say you're cooking out or something. You want to pop a few, since this is a soda scout, I'll say a few sodas or whatever your favorite beverage is. But those would be my top 5 favorite traditional knives and most carried traditional knives from left to right as far as most to least carried. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Remember, a lazy man carries a dull knife.